Hi, everybody. I'm Dan. Welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show. On today's episode of the Rock Nerd Radio Show, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to kind of look at how we got from an early version of a Marvel Legends Black Widow figure to the most recent version of a Marvel Legends Black Widow figure. We're going to talk about some reused parts from version to version, and we'll see kind of which one is my favorite. It might be easy to guess. So check it out right now on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So as I said at the beginning of this video, we're going to look at almost every comic iteration of Black Widow and see how we've kind of evolved from the first comic version to the newest version, which we'll get to in just a moment. And I do want to point out that I am missing one comic version. It is the Legendary Rider version. Her bike is in the back, but I did sell off that figure a couple years ago. So these are the Black Widows that I currently have in my collection. And we're going to start with the first comic-based Black Widow that we got, and it would be this one. She was on a retro card when she came out. She was the first time we got a comic-based Black Widow from Hasbro. We did get movie versions that you could kind of sub in on your shelf to be a Black Widow, but this was the first time we got a comic one. And I was very excited when she came out on that retro card. But she is a little plain. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of deco on this figure other than, you know, paint on the belt, the face, and something I have always liked and still like is the way the hair gets darker as it moves down her body. The guns on this one, kind of boring, very flimsy, and the way her hand joints work, it goes left to right. So, you know, she can kind of shoot the gun sideways, but not like pointing it up and down. Although it does sit funny, so like, you can see it ends up being pointed kind of funny. These bracelets on her and the belt we are going to see again. So she was kind of the prototype for everything we got afterwards. Not a bad figure, great for when she initially came out, but we have definitely moved on from this. So I'm just going to put her in the back. From there, we actually got two Black Widows released at the same time. It would be these two. These came out when the Black Widow movie came out, and they are two different versions of the character. This one is how she appeared in the Deadly Origins miniseries. This one is how Natasha appeared in the 90s when she was on the Avengers with her jacket. And that's going to be the first one that we kind of look at, because a lot of what she comes with, we end up seeing reused on quite a bit of these Black Widow figures. Now, just to point out, her belt has no Black Widow symbol on it. It is just a pouch, you know, a belt full of pouches all the way around. There is a Black Widow spider on her chest there. It's just a black spider. And there is the Avengers A on her arm there. You can kind of see it. But she came with some things that would end up becoming very popular for Black Widow figures, something that we're going to be talking about later. You can see on her wrist gauntlets, this one has a blast effect. This one has smoke coming out of it. This Black Widow actually came with multiple interchangeable gauntlets. You do have two of the smoking ones as well as two of the venom blast ones. She also has two regular plain old gauntlets with nothing going on here. I do believe these were different than the ones that came with this Black Widow. As you can see, a little bit of a size difference and like detailing difference on there. So yeah, these ended up being used quite a bit in the future. We'll get there. She also has interchangeable hands. She has a fist and an open hand on now. She came with another fist and another open hand, as you can see, and those are going to be making appearances again as well. But this one did come with two things we haven't seen on any Black Widow since. First off, she did come with the jacket, and I believe this jacket is just a reuse of Rogue's jacket, and probably the sleeves, again, with just some paint on them. But we haven't seen that reused on a Black Widow, nor have we really had to. But she did come with this jetpack, and it has a SHIELD logo on it. It has these flight effects that can be ported into the back of the jetpack. This is a cool feature, something that we haven't really gotten with too many characters. Obviously, you can just slide it over her arms, and it sits on her back. It doesn't peg, so it is a bit of a loose fit, but it was cool for the time. And I'm just going to move her and all her accessories over to the back here for a moment. But yeah, she's this is my other favorite version of Natasha. I love this costume. So this is one that I interchange on my shelf. Sometimes she's up, sometimes I have sometimes I had the first one, the retro card one. But I'm just gonna put her back here for now with her pile of things. But that brought us to the Deadly Origins one. Now, in that miniseries, she's wearing a white costume. I know some people call it the White Widow. It's obviously not who she is. She's still Black Widow. But this is just a plain white costume. Reuse of the belt from that vintage card one, just with some different paint apps. Reuse of the gauntlets as well. And she ends up coming with some accessories that we're going to see reused quite a bit. She first off comes with this sniper rifle that has a strap on it. Pretty neat for when it came out. She also has two guns, this little handgun and this little one with a silencer. Both of them have holes on them so you can port in different effects. And that was all she came with aside from the effects. She came with a, two blast effects here. So there are these two orangey red blast effects. And you already see one of the smoke effects in the gun. She did come with the second one. And these ended up becoming something that a lot of characters got, not just Black Widow. A lot of figures ended up getting those effects with their figures. And it's a neat thing to see. It is kind of a neat touch. I end up most of the time just leaving them kind of out of the figure, not really in there. But everything that we just saw with the Deadly Origins Black Widow, we got on this version of Yelena. Now, I know you might be saying to me right now is she really a Black Widow? She is. She was the second Black Widow. That's the way I see it. She's part of the Black Widow program. She even has the Black Widow here, Black Widow symbol. Now, I really like this Yelena. She is not in just a plain black costume. In fact, there is some detail on her chest. You can kind of see it there. She has ruffles in some of her fabric, looking like it's ruffled fabric. She's not pinless, single-jointed elbows, but, that's okay. She recently came out in the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave. She came with the rifle, same as the Deadly Origins one. Came with the handgun, same as the Deadly Origins one. She also came with the silencer, same as the Deadly Origins one. It fits really well in this thigh strap here. And she also comes with, again, the strap that you can put on the sniper rifle if you wanted to. She also came with some blast effects, as you can see. She came with two bit of a darker colored smoke effect. And if you wanted her to go hand to hand and not hold any of these weapons, she does have some fists. Now, it is important to kind of make mention that these fists are the same that came with our gray costume Black Widow. Her open hands, I believe, are different when compared to the White Widow one because they do move on the up and down swivel. So that is actually, this one does not. I take that back, but this one does with the sniper rifle. So one moves up and down, one moves left to right. So again, some advancements here in like the way the hands move, some cool accessories. Love the head sculpt on this one too. But all of this culminates to our newest Target exclusive Black Widow, part of that Beyond Earth's Mightiest line. And this Black Widow, I think, beats out all these other ones, with the exception of Yelena, because she's a different character. But with this in my hand, in my collection, I feel like I definitely don't need these two. I like that costume, so it still holds a special place in my heart. But really, really like this figure. Now the belt. She's got the same belt as those two, as the White Widow and the retro card one. So that belt is, that is the same old thing. The wrist guards, as far as I can tell, the ones that aren't plugged into anything, are the same as, I want to say, the gray versions. She comes with, just like the gray version, smoking versions of her gauntlets as well as blasting ones. All right, so there are multiple gauntlet options. You can kind of see them all in my hand here. She comes with, just like our Deadly Origins one, 2 smoke effects, and she also comes with 2 blast effects, which you can see here, a little pinker almost, I'd say, but still looking good. She has in her hand the silencer, which again, white version came with, Yelena came with, and the little pistol, which again, those two came with. She has fisted hands, which I want to say are the same fisted hands that came with Yelena, and maybe even the gray version here. She also has these opened up splayed hands, same thing as what we got with the gray version. And she has, again, trigger hands, fisted hands. The trigger hand, one can move up and down on the vertical. The other in this hand moves side to side on the horizontal. So really the same hands as we got with Yelena. And yeah, so a lot of reuse in some of the extra parts. This body, however, though, where these three are probably all have similar parts to them, even this and this might have some similar parts, this is otherwise pretty much brand new. She has some articulation that the other ones do not have. She has butterfly joints at her shoulders. None of them have that. She has this nice twirly diaphragm joint, but also crunch here down at her stomach, so you can really get deep bends in there if you want to. She has the nicely detailed zipper, so kind of showing, you know, her chest there. None of these other ones have a zipper showing, so that's kind of neat. She has the double pinless elbows. She has the double pinless legs, so no one else has that. And as a bonus, this version even has 2 extra heads, so you can kind of emulate some of the other looks from some of these other characters. This one has, you know, the hair in the face as well as down, you know, going down her back. This is the short-haired version. Kind of reminds me of our gray costume Black Widow, but you know, again, a little different. And then she has like the more traditional modern Black Widow costume look. And really, I feel like all of these figures led to what we see here, because there's a lot of reused parts, there's a lot of reused effects, and I'm not knocking that. This Black Widow ended up becoming, I think, the best Black Widow Hasbro has done to date. You are free to argue with me on this one, but it has been an interesting evolution of the character. And honestly, looking at it, this one is definitely replacing the vintage card. The Deadly Origins one, I rarely displayed her, so I'm probably not holding on to her. Yelena I'm keeping, because again, different character. But even at this point, I don't know if I need this gray costume one. I might still switch between these two, because I do like that gray costume, although I didn't go in on all the 90s Avengers characters, so like this version with you know, with the jacket on, like I didn't get that. I didn't get the Black Knight like that. I didn't get Cersei, so I don't know if I really need like a 90s jacketed Avengers team. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, it's been interesting. This Black Widow is definitely going to be one that I hold on to for quite some time, and I really hope that if you can find it, you enjoy her. I will say that I did see that she is going on clearance in some Targets. So I found one in stores before my pre-order even shipped, so I canceled the pre-order and picked her up. She wasn't on clearance when I found her, but I have seen reports that she is being marked down in price. Honestly, she doesn't have some of the bigger weapons like the sniper rifle and things like that, but I'm kind of okay with that. I like the smaller kind of silencer and pistols and stuff, and I like the wrist attacks. I think the wrist effects, rather. I think they look pretty cool. So there we go. What do you think? Which Widow is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome, and I'll see you next time.
Come geek out.